Hi. So today I'm going to be reacting to Vincent by Don McLean. Let's take a listen.
Starry night, paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills, sketch the trees and the daffodils. Catch the breeze and the winter chills in colors on the snowy linen land. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night, flaming flowers that brightly blaze, swirling clouds in violet haze, reflect in Vincent's eyes of china blue, colors changing hue. Morning fields of amber grain, weathered faces lined in pain, are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, for they could not love you, but still your love was true. And when no hope was left inside on that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Starry, starry night, portraits hung in empty halls, frameless heads on nameless walls, with eyes that watch the world and can't forget, like the strangers that you've met, the ragged men in ragged clothes, a silver thorn, a bloody rose, lie crushed and broken on the virgin snow. Now I think I know what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. Perhaps they never
Okay, Don McLean. I had to convince myself to actually listen to this song because Don McLean is responsible for one of my least favorite songs. I don't know why this is because let me tell you, I get it. I am in the tiny, tiny minority of people who cannot stand the song American Pie. I absolutely hate that song. And I will say this, I have hated that song since the first time I heard it. It is so long, so boring, so repetitive, so tedious, and it is everywhere all the time. And I will also say, I think it's the only Don McLean song I know. Like I genuinely have never heard that song before. I have like such a visceral reaction to American Pie when it's like, and it's again with the bye, we got to go through the whole thing again. I was just like, I don't know who this Don McLean is, but no, the answer is just no. Now, this is a very different song, and I've had a very different reaction. You know, he really, really reminds me of John Denver, although I will say like a more complex John Denver. Um, and that is, I liked the song. I liked the song, and I loved the guitar. Like I love when a single guitar sounds like an entire orchestration. You know, there's a way, I don't know if it's like a 12-string guitar or how they do that exactly, but there is a way that people really know, like if you're Chris Smither or something, and you really know how to play guitar, you can make it do everything you need it to do. That was some very, very skillful guitar playing. Even I could tell that. And his voice is very sweet and very clear. And I think for a song like this, kind of a Gordon Lightfoot-y sort of feeling, right? Like the kind of voice that can sing about a shipwreck and make it really beautiful, like that kind of voice. I think it's really good. And I don't know if he wrote this song. I feel like maybe he did. And I think for a lot of people, even people who don't really know a lot about art, you know, Vincent van Gogh has a place. He's sort of like I don't know, like it's obviously a very, very tragic story, like someone with this incredible gift that was scorned at the time and misunderstood at the time, and like this anybody who creates anything and sort of puts it out for public consumption has to wrestle with like criticism. And the story of Vincent van Gogh, someone who later came to such sort of like universal appreciation, you know, having to kind of deal with his own mental health issues, and, you know, while also still creating this art the way that he wanted to, even though it was bringing such pain. And, you know, it's a really difficult story. And I think for a lot of people, like for me, when I started learning about art and like why art is important and what artists are considered important, Vincent van Gogh was one of the first ones that I sort of knew anything about. And so like this story, right, or this kind of point of view that he has about like this sort of sadness about what he went through, I think it's very relatable. And it's a really, I think, yeah, a relatable way of looking at and thinking about and being empathetic to, you know, greatness that is not recognized in its time, or like, you know, artistic genius that leads to suicide. Like, you know, it still happens today, and it's, you know, it's really sad. Sometimes, you know, being a visionary has this like incredible cost, like this huge cost. And I think that like that song was a really beautiful way to think about that, right? Because it's not like a, you know, it's not a maudlin song. It's not a sad, so it's not a dirge. It's a very beautiful kind of folk song with a very beautiful guitar, but I'm being really honest about a really sad but really beautiful story. And it's a beautiful and kind of sad song too. So, okay, Don McLean. All right, a little bit of redemption, but I stand by my hot take on American Pie. I stand by it. But this was very beautiful. This was very beautiful. Yeah.